Oh man, can't wait to kick back and relax and just play some good old normal Elden Ring. Oh no, here he comes. So, a friend of mine, this one here, Dave, has come to me with a grand idea. Turns out you can combine co-op and a randomizer on Elden Ring. Basically Nightreign, right? No, not really, but I'm calling it that for the video title because I need views and you better watch till the end. Pretty simple concept. Me and Dave here go through Elden Ring, but all the bosses, enemies, and weapons are completely random. I'm sure you probably guessed that because it's a randomizer. Now, there's a huge possibility we can just get blatantly walled with this. So I decided to be kinda modest and set my sights on the Morgott fight. Well, more so whatever Morgott becomes. If you want to get into the intricacies of how the randomizer works, then I'll be glad to tell you.
Shut up, let's go.
Our journey starts, and let me introduce you to the two brothers, Reginald and Deginald, who must journey the lands between in search of glory. All the classes were random, so I got some pretty cool armor to start with, and a rapier, which is pretty cool, I guess. I think I got a bit luckier than Reginald, though. He's pretty homeless with an axe, but you know what? He seems to be having fun. Going through the tutorial cave is a given, because we need to see what the Soldier of Godric becomes. And this could have been very, very bad, but it was all good. It was just Dryleaf Dane, so that's an easy start. Moving forward, I look towards the Tree Sentinel, but Dave has a different idea and decides it's time to murder White Mask. I suppose he had it coming anyways. And now we can look at Tree Sentinel and find out what the Tree Sentinel has become. It became Tree Sentinel. You know what? I'll take it. I always fight Tree Sentinel, so this should be easy. He beat us up. Anyways, so I mentioned earlier that everything gets randomized, and that also includes every type of shop in this game. From merchants to literally using remembrances, every shop will be randomized. Which is awesome, because I could talk to Santa here and find either a few pebbles or God in his pocket. Or even both. Now, that's not the case for Kale, but still good to know. We can collect his bell bearing without murder, and Deginald and Reginald can look towards the army encampment. Why? Lobsters! David, rest. David, please. No! Now, after a short journey, we feel the need to find out just what exactly is hiding behind the Margit boss door. We were hoping for a nice and easy boss to start out with. Luckily, the stats are going to be kinda scaled towards Margit's base stats, with a slight HP buff because multiplayer, but oh, were we in for a little treat. Oh, no! Yep, we got beat up again. Who could have thought that Rolana would be behind that door? Time to go do what Elden Ring does best, though, and roam around aimlessly until we find something useful. Essentially, we were just running through main areas like churches that have guaranteed higher rarity drops, or close to guaranteed at least, and just picking up literally anything we can find along the way. Somber smithing stones were super easy to come by, which was amazing as we can be a bit more free with our item choice, but we also got other important items like the wondrous physic and a raw meat dumpling. Next, we found ourselves wandering around the dragon areas of Caelid, and we come across a familiar face. No, I have made a Bucky. I have made a very Bucky, David. One of the putrid Erdtree avatars became the dancing lion boss from the DLC, which is a great sign because that's one DLC boss out of the way from potential boss candidates, because we don't have to fight this guy. Anyways, a major idea for this journey, as you probably assumed, was to get to the big father dragon that gives free runes, which we succeeded in doing, but somehow at this point neither me or Dave have acquired a single bleed weapon. This section is gonna be put on hold. I eventually suggest that we should go check out Castle Morn, because there's a church in the area which is more likely to have a decent drop, a walking rock giant guy to duplicate a DLC remembrance we found, and of course we can look for drops in Castle Morn. Along the way, the fun part of the boss fight at the end. Aside from the initial area filled with enemies, this isn't too troublesome, for Dave at least. I tend to have a little issue with gravity and greed. They don't go hand in hand. Hey Dave?
Yo.
I fell off the same railing. But we make it to the arena with little to no issues. But whatever is behind this wall is supposed to be Leonine, which is a simple enemy with a low amount of health, so whatever it is, should have less health than normal.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
It's phase 2, it's phase 2!
We really can't get a break around here. Well, this has been a rather slow start, so when you can't get any momentum in Elden Ring, you know what you do? You beat your head against the wall and struggle. At this point, I was kind of having a weapon crisis as well. I couldn't find anything I liked, and this rapier I started with turned out to not be as good as the homeless man's axe. Eventually, though, I return with some bell bearings, and we see the maidens. And the maidens hold my beloved in their shop. I found the Stormhawk axe, It was love at first sight, except I'm blatantly lying through my teeth because it was Dave that told me this weapon was good. So I tried it, and I really liked it. But now, at this point, both characters, Reginald and Deginald, have picked up a good few runes and leveled up quite a bit. So we decided it was prime time for our rematch with Ridlana, the Fell Omen. Tell you the truth, this is nowhere near the worst boss we could have gotten here, but I'll show you how the fight went.
Good. Use your Ash of War. Wrong button. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
Oh,
unnecessary.
the passing skill.
Oh.
Oh, she weaved me. She weaved me again.
Fishy blow! Oh.
What the? Get the fish.
It took a bit of effort, but I don't think we can complain. That brings us one step closer to the end goal of this run. Tell you the truth, just like pretty well any run, I'm pretty sure there isn't that much time between the Market Boss Arena and the Godric Boss Arena. And not much happened in Stormvale Castle either. We were kind of forced to go through the front gates because we didn't have a key for the side path, so Dave and I opened the front gates. Dave beat the piss out of Ghostok because he doesn't like that guy apparently, and we charged forward, prepared for the ballistas to start raining down, and it was anticlimactic because turns out when the enemy's randomized, they can't use ballistas most of the time. So, this was kind of a walk in the park. But look at this! Nefeli Lu's armor looks stupid as hell! Anywho, Margit was replaced with Ridlana, which was pretty unlucky. So Godfrey might be something easy, right? Nope. Another DLC boss for us! Welcome to the fight of Midra the Grafted. For this fight, Deginald keeps the same armor and weapon as per usual. And Reginald has donned an interesting outfit and a strange but kind of cool pointy shield for a weapon. This fight took a few attempts and somewhere we just died immediately, but after a long attempt and losing Dave in an intense battle.
What the?
Nice.
Oh my god.
I managed to squeeze out a victory, and our first Great Rune boss is defeated. Of course, there is no Great Rune, but this was a very special moment where the run was feeling possible. Next stop, we decided to venture forth into the lakes of Liurnia, just to see if we could, get into the Renala fight. But first, some pit stops beforehand. We check out the Undercliff and say hello to the Pop Man and see what the half of the secret medallion turns into. Oh wow, that's pretty lucky. In the village, there also happens to be a mini-boss, so we fight him for a bit. His hitboxes are a little annoying in this area, but with a bit of willpower, me and Dave pull through and claim our reward, the Golden Parry Ash of War. Actually, a pretty good Ash of War, but it's gonna stay in the pockets for now. Now, it's actually time to see if we can get into Raya Lucaria. Now, for some key items, we didn't really know if they would be randomized. So this is really the time to check it out and say hello to our little dragon friend. Turns out the dragon isn't randomized and he's still there, which means that the key was also there. Whether this was a really rare coincidence or just not randomized at all, I won't lie, I still have no clue, but whatever the case, it works for me. And we can continue on our journey with 2 boss arenas ahead of us within Raya Lucaria. After a little bit of diddling around, there is not too much to oppose us with the enemies in the school, so with not much trouble, we hit some of the graces within the area and take a short break to go visit our friend Iji, because we should probably look into upgrading our gear finally. After checking his shop, we finally found something. We found some bleed weapons to deal with the big dragon. Time to resume where we left off earlier and go beat up the big dragoon. We net ourselves a fair few runes and we can level up a bunch and upgrade our weapon. We leave the round table with leveled weapons. My trusty axe was level 4 and Dave's random assortment of weapons were probably leveled somewhat. He wasn't recording, so we will just have to live with the fact that his weapons could have been level 1 or level 10. And now, with our freshly upgraded tools, it's time for a revenge match that we couldn't deal with earlier. Leonine Fire Giant is our next opponent, and we actually do damage this time. The damage is still less than ideal, but at least the arena isn't terribly large, and he's already in second phase. It's essentially an endurance match, like usual. Was this fight necessary? Not at all. Or at least that's what we thought going into it, but his drop happened to be the left half of the Dectus medallion. Kinda crazy how that worked out. Anyways, time for more progress, and we find ourselves looking towards the Red Wolf arena next. This fight has a terrible arena because there is some massive bosses in this game. There was a chance it could work out nicely with an NPC boss, maybe? I feel like you might have all seen this coming. Well, it's another big boss, and it's Estelle of Radagon, which is usually what I consider a rather easy fight, but in this arena, more so felt like a luck fight. Its damage was, not terrible. Our one verdict was it was a doable fight. The HP was rather small because it was scaled to the Red Wolf. We just had to have a good run. And eventually, of course, we did. And now we can progress to the actual main boss of the area, the Renala Arena. Skip Mr. Boulder here. Let Dave handle the NPC warrior because I can't deal with player type enemies for some reason. And now we get to see the fog wall, or more so, the big giant door. Now, there's something particularly interesting about this fight, as it has 2 separate health bars for each phase. So, we get 2 different bosses to deal with in this fight. Awesome! So, let's just hope the first phase isn't too hard to deal with.
Oh. You want your picture?
Ah, I got a picture. Oh no! I swear there is no setting making these all DLC bosses, but luckily in this smallish arena, it's only first phase Mesmer. Now, is facing Mesmer at all ideal? Absolutely not. But if we had to fight the snake phase in an annoying arena, I'm sure it would have been a lot worse. But now we have to deal with him to see what's in the second phase. Luckily for us, his health bar is small, so we don't have to survive too long, and it's certainly doable. Also, some of my DLC muscle memory remains for some attacks, which helped out a lot. But we beat first phase for the first time, and just pray the second phase isn't that bad. It's Gideon! This fight is never that bad. We finally lucked out! Oh, it seems we underestimated him a little bit. Now, we really thought this was gonna be a free pass, but it turns out Gideon does a lot more damage than either of us remembered. I don't think I've ever died to him in a normal playthrough, so you can't blame me too much, but we kinda got walled here, which is kind of embarrassing. In our defense, it was also 4 in the morning when we first did this, so we decided to rest up, try again the next day, which worked out a lot better for us, and we managed to clear the Renala boss arena. And now, we can look towards the Altars Plateau. Scurry past some catapults that fire nothing. Oh, wait, there's 2 guys usually is. Oh. Yeah, I don't think he's very good at operating. There's a plant. And now, with both halves of the medallion, one from the fire giant and one from Gideon, we can hoist it and enter the Altus Plateau. Since we only had 3 more of the big bosses before our goal, we decided to once again look around a bit, visiting some key areas like the fake Margit fight who randomized into a wee little plant, and we went to the Windmill Village to see what the Godskin Apostle has become. It became a Erdtree avatar, which is great! Not too bad to deal with, but this fight was interesting because one of the dancing witches randomized into a troll, which makes it super difficult to undo. So we came up with a plan. I fight the avatar solo, while Dave runs for his life from the troll. And it may have taken a long time because of the HP buffs, but it was a flawless strategy, and we take down the mini-boss, in which our reward is an exalted flesh! Afterwards, we visit a mini-tree where there's supposed to be an actual Erdtree avatar and find a Dragonkin soldier. This fight was also not important, but he dropped Somber Smithing Stone 8, so this fight ended up being much more worthwhile at least. Finally time, we head to see what the Draconic Tree Sentinel has become. Alright, let's go see what it is.
That's a DLC.
Oh, yeah. This was a scary one, because from my knowledge, this is the only way to actually progress the game, so if it was impossible, this will be where the run ends. But luckily for us, it was a very possible fight. Unluckily for us, it was a DLC bear boss that neither of us have ever seen or fought. Our first attempts were rough, to say the least.
Bad time to do a heavy attack. Hey, man. Ooh.
So we took a quick pause from this to go check out what the Radahn fight has become, just out of curiosity. After a short adventure, we arrive, and in the massive arena stands Commander Nile. Oh great, a boss with way too much HP for us to deal with. We try summoning some friends in this arena, but the HP buffs for this fight leads us to deem this is something that's simply not worth the trouble, and we decide to skip it. So we end this pointless journey by upgrading some gear with the smithing stones we had acquired and biting the bullet to fight this stupid bear. And after quite a few attempts, we died a lot, we finally defeated this bear and can progress to the final area of this randomizer. Well, we both completely forgot you needed great runes to progress, so this is kinda a wall. We have beaten the bosses, but never got the rune drops, so this door just walls us. Our only idea was to go search throughout the lands, hunting down bosses and trying to find 2 great runes. This is quite the time sink of nothingness, so I'll try to just highlight key points. We killed a Kaled dragon in place of Lake Dragon Agil. We found out where the Godskin Apostle ended up in a place of a Stone Digger troll, and killed him. We ventured into an Everjail and beat up Vite. Found a Magma Worm in place of an Erdtree avatar. All to absolutely no avail. We found literally nothing. Now we ventured forth into the Carrion Manor to see what the boss Loretta has become. In the manor, the enemies were wonky, but there was nothing special all the way up until the boss arena. I don't exactly know if we want to go in that arena.
Why?
Yeah, so this was Consort Radon, which is kind of cool because it's an optional boss, but kind of not cool because of course we're gonna fight it anyways. Also, side note, no clue how once again, but at some point we found Consort Radon's weapons, which Dave figured out in his inventory, and that is what Dave is using here, which is kind of funny. Anyways, time to fight it. And luckily, it's just phase 1, and its damage is scaled way down to match Loretta. But his attacks are still very fast, as you would expect. And I lost my brother here rather early on into the fight, but it wasn't over. I personally fought this boss well over 100 times in my personal playthrough when the DLC first released. Pre-patch, no summons of course. So, I had this moveset down to a science at the time. Only problem? That was almost a year ago now. Did that stop me? Absolutely not. I clutched up on the first phase, which was pretty cool, but in the end didn't matter at all because all we got was a low tier bell bearing. After this, we decided to return to the Great Ruined Door, prepared to give up. But oh my god! The game must have noticed how much work we put in and decided to just let us through. This is amazing. What a miracle. Hashtag no editing. We would never turn off the setting that makes us require Great Ruins for entry. That would be cheating. Anyways, now we set foot into the last area of this run, the Royal Capital. Now, as for the progression in this area, it's rather straightforward. We fight Goldfree and then Morgott after a bit of progression in the area, or that's how it usually is. After a while of being distracted and roaming around, we collect some goods in the Broken Round Table and find ourselves in front of the Godfrey Arena, with a very familiar face staring back at us. Oh. It's round 2, huh?
It's round 2.
Well, this is gonna suck. Earlier I mentioned how second phase Mesmer would be annoying as hell in a small arena, and now I can confirm. It does, in fact, suck major balls. We were stuck here for a while, but of course this was possible. So I'll just let our soldiers here, Reginald and Deginald, show you how we got it done. What the fuck? I've never seen him get staggered during that. Oh, boom! This is a bad attack. Me boom! Me bomba! Oh.
You son of a bitch!
That doesn't matter. He did too. With the power of friendship. We did it now. The only thing that awaits us is whatever is behind the fog wall of Morgott's arena. It was a long journey here. Our brothers have grown much stronger in these random lands. But now it was time to see how the journey would be ending. I don't know who this is. Oh my god. You know what? This is doable.
Yeah, this is the reindeer.
Well, at least it's a big boss, but isn't this kind of anticlimactic compared to the other bosses we've been dealing with? It's the Ancestor Spirit, which I would consider a rather easy boss normally, and now with a nearly maxed out Stormhawk axe and Radon's signature weapon, it was, as I said earlier, rather easy. This was the end goal, but it didn't feel right. We needed to end off on a higher note than this. So, it's time for a revenge match of a boss we left behind earlier. Commander Nile. His HP still very large, but we were different this time. Fresh off of a win against Mesmer and the Ancestor, we were prepared to fight. Having to relearn this boss's moveset is still a major pain in the ass, and it still costs us a few attempts. In the end, the commander falls, and we conquered the Nile fight. Now let's see those rewards. Are you serious? There was a great rune here the entire time. Well, it still wouldn't have been enough to get through the door, but it would have felt a whole lot less cheap. Anyways, that's where the journey of the brothers Reginald and Deginald shall leave off for now. We managed to hit our goal without too many issues. We may have cheated a little bit to get through that door, but that's all we did. Now, we got a lot of items in this run where I can't even remember or even find the clips of us picking up, so I can't really prove that we didn't cheat those in, but at the same time, do you really care that much? And the other side of the coin is, do I really care enough to prove it? No, not really. This run was super fun, and I am actually very willing to continue, but randomizers make for already long videos, and my uploading pattern is, late at best. So, let me know if I should make a part 2. Anyways, that's all for now, and thank you for watching.